throughout the journey of losing weight, what's most important is to not stop loving yourself. Love yourself at every stage of it, because it is what it is, man. Like, especially like weight loss, you can't really plan it. You can't be like, yeah, by June I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. That's not how it happens. Sometimes like as you're going through losing weight, you lose like 5 pounds today, and then next week you gain 1. You know,
the following week you lose like 2.
You lose again. You know what I mean? You just give yourself time, give yourself grace. Embrace being healthy, embrace healthy habits, do research about it. YouTube University is like the best place ever. There's so much information. There are so many informations. There's so much information. And if you hear something that you're like, yeah, I don't think so, don't do it.
Welcome to Agree to Disagree.
It's not working.
No. Welcome to Agree to Disagree. I am Affy.
I'm Miriam.
And we welcome you on today's episode. We about to get deep because, trigger warning, if you don't like talking about weight, we're sorry.
This is your cue.
Yeah, we're so sorry.
This is your cue.
But how's your day going?
It's going all right. I'm hungry.
You're not hungry. You just need to drink water. That's what this lady said.
No, I'm hungry. It can be true, but I drink so much water that when I'm hungry, I'm hungry.
I just started drinking water again. Like, I don't know. I started the 75 days soft. Don't say nothing, because you always say I start stuff and I don't finish.
I wasn't going to say that.
This time around, I'm on day 6 and I've been drinking.
You're like, this time around, I'm on day 6.
No, okay. I'm proud of myself because I bought this. It's an app and it's only $2. So I bought it for lifetime. And I bought it last year. I never get past day 1.
Man, I just told you, you're like, you buy equipment like I buy courses, but I guess now we're at the same level.
No, I never get past day 1. So this month I was like, you know what? Because every time I get on the app, it'll tell me, are you still on it or did you fail? And then, if you fail, you have to start it all over again.
Oh.
Yeah, that's part of it. So it's like you have to be on track. So yeah, 75 days. It's 75 soft, actually, because I like my soft life. I only work out once a day.
Yeah, that 2 workouts is crazy.
No. But today's, what do you call? Instagram, social media shenanigans. I want to show you because I feel like you'll be like, I told you. This is what I've always been telling you, but you too soft. But anyways, I'm going to show you.
Like, literally, I don't even say that. Okay.
I'm going to show you and you tell me exactly your perspective on it, because it's actually a video that ties very well with today's episode.
Stop getting mad when people that love you tell you that you need to lose weight. Why are you getting offended? Why are you getting upset about something that you know you should do and you want to do? Because what's going to happen is everyone around you is going to see you gaining weight and never say anything. They're going to see you complain about how your clothes don't fit. They're going to watch you take a bunch of pictures and delete every single one of them because you don't like the way you look. They're going to watch you struggle and complain about your weight in real time, but they'll never say anything because they know you'll get mad. And then in 1 or 2 years, after you gain 60 to 70 pounds, you're going to be like, I don't know how this happened.
Also, we have to normalize getting mad. We have to let people get mad. And then we have to have the conversation about why you're getting mad.
Oh, I got mad before you were there.
Then we need to have the conversation. What exactly is making you mad?
But
I understand why you got mad, though. I understand why you got mad. Like, I don't believe that some stranger you meet on the road that you didn't know 2 minutes ago can just tell you about your weight. That I don't believe, because if I don't know you and I see that you're maybe on the heavier side, I don't know what you're dealing with. You could literally be sick, and that's what's causing you to gain all this weight. So I'm not just going to make a comment offhanded. I will make a comment to you, though, because I know you. I know you ain't got no health issues.
Yeah.
And you just over here dragging all this weight. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just, and it's like the intention is the most important thing here. I see you gain weight. Like, what's going on? And we need to stop just talking about you're gaining weight. You're becoming unhealthy. And becoming unhealthy has consequences, real consequences. Sickness.
High blood pressure.
Exactly. Diabetes, like actual sickness that's going to make you just lose a lot of money. It's going to destroy your way of life. It's going to destroy your happiness. I mean, you just there aren't any gains at becoming unhealthy and staying there and just keep on keeping on. Like there's no. Let me finish. I like what you're saying, but like, yeah.
Hold on.
Like if you're someone's friend and your friend is gaining weight and we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it because I care about you and I want you to be healthy. I don't want you to be, I don't just want you to be skinny. I want you to be healthy.
I knew she would like today's shenanigans.
After you gain 60 to 70 pounds, you're going to be like, I don't know how this happened. Why didn't anybody tell me? And just remember, they tried to tell you. You just don't want to hear it.
I feel like when it comes to telling people when other people tell you you've gained weight, like you said, you have the right to get mad. But also, for me, when I gained weight, my issue was, I don't know, I think I was just sensitive about it because we do live in a world where weight triggers most people. And it's like body positivity, no matter how big you are.
And I think the truth of the matter is, if you're self-conscious about something and someone brings it up, maybe not in the best of ways, it's going to trigger you. I think it was Tasha Cobbs. She went on Lecrae's podcast, and they talked about her weight loss journey, and she also mentioned, she was like, I wish my family members would tell me that it was getting a little out of hand. I wish I wish they had said something. And then I think Lecrae said, maybe they were just protecting your feelings. And she was like, and I understand that. But what we do forget sometimes is like, literally, this could mean death or life, life or death. Being at a certain weight could mean whether you live 20 more years or you live 20 less years.
And I had to think about that too when I got to the heaviest, because I know for a fact at some point I was like, this ain't real. I think I was like 198. That was the heaviest. I was like, this can't be real. But to me, the more I looked at myself, I didn't really see it until
That's crazy.
Yeah, until we started to go out. And that situation happened in Pennsylvania where like I cried in the car. That's when it started to hit, because people started to notice like you gained weight.
Is it that you didn't see it or you just didn't care?
I want to say both.
Okay.
When your family says you gain weight, it's like, you guys talk a lot. But when
you guys talk a lot, disrespectful.
But when you hear from somebody else, you're like, what do you mean? Like, dang, like mind your business type of thing. I don't know. It's like one of those things.
Yeah, I'm against strangers just telling people about whatever is imperfect on their body. I have a profound problem with that. Like I have a profound, because you don't know what they're dealing with. But give it some time. They get to know the person before you just make a comment.
But what if they knew you before you gained weight? I think that's where my issue has always been.
Even then, but my question is like, what's the level of knowing? How well did we know each other?
Just by passing by. Like I showed a picture of me 13 years ago. 13? Yeah, 13 years ago. I was in high school, right? And I was at my lowest, 135. To me, I thought I was fat, but I was at the healthy, skinny version of me. And then when we went to Pennsylvania, they know me as that version of weight.
The last time they saw you, you were very small.
And then out of nowhere, I'm showing up at 198 pounds. And then you're telling me you gained weight. Not only that, you pinch my cheeks and you tell me I gained weight. That's a little bit too personal.
That was really funny.
Did you ever come to that perspective? I wouldn't say perspective, like that point in your life where you felt like you were too big or too small?
No. I never felt like I was too small in the moment. I felt I always like before we got married.
You were small.
I
when
lost
looked
so
back.
much weight, and I wasn't even trying.
You were small.
I was just losing weight like it's nobody's business, and I don't know why. I don't know how. It just came out of nowhere, and I lost all that weight. But we got married, and I gained the weight back. But now when I look at those, well, I didn't really gain the weight back. I was still smaller, but yeah. Now when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that was a little too much because literally I only had my head. And my head is like bigger than the rest of my body when I'm too small.
And then when we gain weight, it goes here first.
Yeah, exactly. When I get like, it's like back here, it gets big and then it expands, right? But yeah. When I look back, I'm like, yeah, I was doing the most. I was doing the absolute most. But there were times where I was trying, and there were times where I wasn't. I would just lose the weight. And like when I was in college too, whenever I had like an exam or something to turn in, I would get so stressed, and I would just shed the pounds. Stress would just kill me.
I don't know. For me, my history of like just body weight, I wouldn't say it's the healthiest because it wasn't the healthiest. One, weight loss and just weight in general, it started to grow on me when I started to get made fun of by family. That was where I was like against food, right? And then once I got to college,
we talk about the family made fun of you. What do you mean?
I mean, like,
because we just have bad jokes.
No, sometimes y'all be pushing it.
We have bad jokes. It's true.
But your jokes be realistic though, because sometimes it'd be like, when I'm about to eat, it'd be like, hey, don't eat too much. Hey, this is too much. I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to enjoy life. It's like,
but like,
no!
Being serious. I know I'm not being serious. I'm just cheesy.
Please. And then when you gain weight, like, that's because you eat it too much. Please. That's just like, I'm sorry. But yeah, that's how I felt.
It's true. That says something about, it says something about certain conversations. I think we don't do a very good job of like, let's sit down. Let's talk about this. Like we worry about you, and we only want what's best for you, and so we have to talk about your weight. We don't do that. We just be like, hey, oh, that's what you was about to say. Hey,
you just ate bread. You about to eat rice. It's like, hey. I remember at some point, Dawn will call me just to check on me to see if I worked out. I used to hate that. He's like, hey, how you doing, FIFA? I'm like, I'm good. He's like, what'd you do today? I'll tell him, he'd be like, okay. Did you work out today?
He's not even subtle. He's not even subtle. That's so funny.
Like, did you work out today? I'll be like, I will lie sometimes, like, yeah. Oh, what'd you do? And I'll be like, I went for a walk. Oh, okay. What else did you do? I'm like, bro, you're doing the most, man. You're doing the most. But yeah, it's important. I think what he said in that video was like something that I could relate to, because your family is the closest people around you, and they want the best for you. Because when I gained weight, my friends didn't really say nothing. Because I remember I went to a wedding in Cincinnati for another friend, a college friend who was getting married, and I wore this orange dress that I wore in not Pennsylvania, one of our old weddings that we went to as a family. And it was just so funny because, I didn't know that weddings people have dress code. I ain't used to that. I came
No,
in.
they had a dress code. You don't read your invitation. That's your issue.
I didn't know. Like, we Africans, what are we getting dress codes for?
You did not read the invitation.
You know, when I came home, I read the invitation, and it said...
It was right there. All right.
But thankfully, I wasn't the only one. So I wore that dress, and I had the color of the wedding in my suitcase. I just went for the orange dress. So when I got there, I saw
weird. Oh, gosh.
I saw some of my friends. As soon as I walked in, he was like, you could see their face was like, oh, the girl that worked out every day, I could see it on their face,
right?
But they didn't say anything
because nobody wants to make you feel bad.
But we also live in a society where it's like, you know, don't hurt my feelings. I'm too sensitive.
I mean, yeah, that's true too. But I kind of respect them for not saying anything off the cuff, because how would you just?
But that's where
How would you
the
just
line,
bring it up?
I think that's where the issue come from, because you expect for your friends to be open, right? Because we like this. So when I hear my family, because when your family says something, you're just like, oh, you guys talk too much. But if a friend would have been like, yo, you gained weight, then I've been like, oh, word.
Oh, it's like, but you said that because of family that you stopped.
Yeah, and that's where I'm getting to the point. Like, I think once I start isolating myself from friends, I started to understand, because Dad always used to say, your family is the closest thing around you. They would tell you things that most people wouldn't tell you. But the friends part, I would expect for my friends to, you know, be more open. But I understood it more when my family members who loved me started to say more than what I expected. At first, it becomes annoying, but the more you think about it, you're like, now that I'm at a place where I'm like, okay, they meant what they said, but they meant it out of love. It's like, okay, I can accept the harsh reality of I did gain weight.
Yeah, and we get triggered when we talk about weight, and I for one, I love the body positivity movement. At least the way that I understand it is that you shouldn't hate your body, because at different seasons your body will act differently. I mean, when we were younger, it was easy to lose weight. Like, if you decided that, oh, I'm going to lose 10 pounds, I'm going to shed 15 pounds, you could do it in 2 weeks. You know,
Man,
like,
that was
like,
the best.
like, you stop eating, you know, you just maybe go down to 1 meal a day, whatever, and then the weight just goes. But the older you get, well, your metabolism slows down, you know, you just get older and things change. So you have to stay positive about how you look, even, because you may not be like at that ideal state that you want to be in, but you should still love your body. You should still love yourself. You should still love the person that you are, as you're trying to figure out how to go back to a healthier state.
The only thing that I disagree about body positivity is, even at your obese weight, people always, well, I wouldn't say, like, I'll use Lizzo for an example, right? The people who talk about body positivity, they think unhealthy is positive. Does that make sense?
Right, yeah.
Like, I can understand your perspective of it. You're looking at it as the healthy, you know, it's not about being skinny, it's about being healthy.
Right.
But people who talk about body positivity is more towards you're fat.
And you want to be accepted just the way you are. You don't want to make any changes.
And you
just
know the issue that comes with
that.
being obese.
No.
But it's like, obese.
Obese.
People gonna eat you up in the comments. Yeah. But like, you know the issue that comes with it. Like, for me, I had to deal with high blood pressure. But I would hear, you know, when I watch these things, like, accept yourself for what you are. If you love yourself, you shouldn't, you know, let other people tell you how you feel about yourself or whatever. But with her, when she gained weight, when she was big, people were like telling her, you know, yay, finally
cheering her on.
Finally someone who treats women with normal bodies. And for me, that's always a trigger. Like, what do you mean normal bodies? Because when we're,
I guess being overweight now is a normal. It's a normal body in America, because most people are bigger. You know, most people are, you know, have a higher body mass, whatever it's called. But yeah, most people are just, you know, not skinny.
And then when she lost weight, it was an issue. It's like, you hate yourself by what happened to body positivity.
Yeah. So I mean, what we were talking before about, you know, how people would constantly compare or constantly mock bigger people. That wasn't useful, right? That wasn't, it's not always useful to just mock people. You know, I think we need to get better at talking to each other from a place of information, rather than just like, we're just mocking each other, like making jokes, and then we move on with our lives. Okay, so what's the goal of that joke? Because, like, if I see you and you're my sister, or you're my friend, and you are at an unhealthy weight, I want you to go back to being healthier again. You know, so my intention in like in bringing it out, bringing it up to you, is so that you are more maybe more conscious of it, so you can walk yourself back to a better place. But what's the intention here? Is the intention just like to mock the person, because that's not useful? But also, but at the same time, like the pendulum just swang all the way to the next, to like the most extreme of it too, where like people are just fat and they're expected to just accept it. You know, now they expect people to accept it. Now society will always, you know, mock you. Society will always shame people. That's just what it is. It's not going to stop. It's not as acceptable face to face anymore. But because of social media, you don't see the person on the other side of the phone. So people just say whatever. So that's not going to end. But I think what we all need to train ourselves is to really be honest with ourselves and really just ask ourselves, is this good for me? Like, this weight, I mean, like that guy was saying, like, you don't even want to take a photo. You don't want to keep your own photos in your phone. Yeah. You don't want to do this. You don't want to do that. And I know we have the tendency of just fighting everything, but there are things that we know deep down that this is not good. And that's why you feel some type of way about it. And that's why you feel bad when people bring it up to you. You feel bad because you know this is not good, but like, I just can't seem to get myself out of it. So you have two choices. Either you try really hard to get yourself out of it. And one way that we actually shared that we used to do that was we would stop eating, like completely just stop eating, torture your body. And, you know, just so you can go back to that skinny place, which is not necessarily healthy. But there's also the place of, okay, you could really like learn about how to be healthier, how to make healthier choices. Or you could just do the body positivity. That's really negative, where you're like, yeah, I just look great. This is good, whatever else. And then you just stay.
I think people just look for comfort. I think that's where when you finally find someone that's like the same shape, the same weight, or maybe bigger, it makes you comfortable.
The misery likes company.
It makes you comfortable. Like for me, the only thing besides high blood pressure, you know, that being a priority to figure out a way to get it down, the only thing that also had me at a point where I was like, okay, we can't look like this anymore, was my environment. You know? You guys work out. So being fat wasn't comfortable around y'all. Right. It's like you are around people who take their health, you know, they take them seriously. And self-respect, I remember you told me one time, like, self-respect is you taking better care of your body.
That's
that's
Don's line. He loves that.
Self-respect is taking care of yourself.
Sometimes. You have to respect. You have to have self-respect. If you said you want, bro.
So being big, it was like I started to become uncomfortable with myself because I was around people who work out all the time. If I go to y'all's house, it was like, dang, I can't really eat because they gonna talk about my plate. But in reality, it was like, no, take care of your health. You're getting big, and the people around you this is not the norm for us. We're used to getting, you know, looking good in your clothes.
You want to be fit, right? You want to be fit. I mean, and you can look good in your clothes in any way, as long as you pick correctly, right? But you have, like, we all need to aspire at a healthier, I don't know, self. We want ourselves to be healthier, and that's more important than anything else. You know.
But what's your definition of health? Because for me, skinny was healthy. Like when I look back at my pictures back in the days, my image of being healthy was being skinny. The skinnier, the healthier. But once I hit this big age, it was kind of like,
it's not happening.
Yeah, it's not helping. Like being healthy is you have to know your micros, you have to move, you have to find a place where you're comfortable. When you wear clothes, you're good. So like, I don't know. What's your definition?
I think I guess when I say that, once you've run your body to the point where you're just like obese now, or you're overweight, you want to walk yourself back into a healthier state. What I understand by that is you need to nourish your body with all the nutrients that it needs, right? And one way to do that, and one of the most effective ways to do that, is to consume, to eat unprocessed foods, which Google says are essential. Unprocessed foods are essentially natural, minimally altered foods found in their raw or natural state with little to no processing or added
So like
ingredients.
organic.
So like fresh fruits, vegetables, whole grains, nuts, seeds, legumes, and unprocessed meats like fish, poultry, and eggs. But what we find, especially in the American diet, is more ultra processed foods, right? It's like, I mean, even the fries, even the potato fries, my God, like French fries. One time I Googled or I YouTubed how to make McDonald's fries. Do you know how much sugar goes into that?
I never knew that.
I was like,
I never knew
why
that.
are we doing this? I think literally, I looked at like, why are we doing this? And then you go to the cookies. Okay? The amount, one time I wanted to bake cookies for us in the house. I was flabbergasted. Flabbergasted is. I was just like, why? I couldn't do it. I didn't make the cookies. I tried to like ratio the the sugar. So it's not as sweet. So the cookies flopped.
Yeah.
I think you remember that because you came to the house.
I remember like
and
you trying to make it like in a
something.
way where it was like, this was before you started doing almond flour.
Yeah.
I remember that.
It was like, what are we? Okay, that's too much sugar. And then you go to burgers. Burgers is like big piece of bread, especially from like the fast foods. Big piece of bread, little putty in there, a little putty, and then you have like a little lettuce if you even get it, because not everybody gets it, and a little bit of tomato and plenty of mayo. Right, and then you eat that.
That's the thing that I used to like. Even though I was an athlete, I used to hate the thought of healthy food because it was like I have to give up so much just so I can be healthy. But I've learned that it's actually not bad. You just need to learn how to cook good food.
Yeah,
right.
And you can make your own burger at home.
Yeah, because
then you're not gonna put all that sugar. And then you have to be mindful of like how much mayonnaise you're putting in and like the condiments that you're putting. You have to be mindful of that, and that cannot like burgers and French fries and like chicken nuggets or fried chicken. That cannot be part of your regular diet, especially now because we are not as active as maybe our ancestors were. People were going out to hunt. People were staying in the field all day. They were on their feet all day. Now you wake up, if you work from home like me, I mean, it's terrible because you wake up. Sometimes if you wake up too late, like straight to your computer, you turn on your computer, you start working. You're sitting down all day. Like the average American only gets 3,000 steps a day.
That is crazy.
3,000 steps is really like the amount of steps is so small. Like you didn't move enough. So we don't move enough. So we have to make it a point to like go out there and walk, and you have to work out. You have to eat your food. You have to eat good food. You have to choose good, and like everything like super processed. Like in the morning, you eat cereal.
Man, I thought that was like, because at school they said Cheerios was healthy.
It's not.
Yeah, I learned that.
It really isn't. And then you put milk. Some people even add sugar to that.
Oh my god!
And you eat it, and then at lunch you have maybe like a peanut butter sandwich. You have a peanut butter sandwich. Okay, that's pretty good. But what are you gonna fill the rest of your day with? And then you have maybe pasta and fried chicken. I mean, it's just about. I think the method to being healthier it's not hard. It's not complicated. The way that I understand it, because I gained a lot of weight after I gave birth to Caden. And I had to figure out how to walk myself back into a healthier place again.
She would be.
I was like, I went from 159. I went from 159 to 222 pounds when I gave birth.
You know, I used to think when women would say I gained weight when I was pregnant, I used to think, well, that's because you have a baby in you. But when it happens,
for some people it's true. For some people it's true. I just went, okay.
To me, it was different when I experienced it with you, because from the outside perspective, you just hear people say that. You're like, no, you weighing yourself. You have a whole baby inside of you. But I didn't think you get that bad.
Yeah.
Like, she was ordering KFC. Ain't nobody in this house ate KFC.
I didn't even eat it either.
Time.
It wasn't good.
She just woke up. She was like, I'm craving KFC. I'm like, what?
I ate that. Ew. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. Wow. Yeah, but I gained a lot of weight, and what I did was just okay. What was I doing before that I stopped doing? Because I was so scared that the baby would just out of me. So I would just sit around all day. I wouldn't do anything. Yeah, so I was like, well, what am I gonna do? Okay, first thing is we need to go back to working out again. We have to be active again. And the point of working out is not like when you're not used to it. When you're not used to working out, and you know, people say, oh, you have to go back to the gym. Most people will just go to the gym and like lift those heavy stuff, and then tomorrow you can't even stand up anymore, so you have to take 2 days break or 3 days break just to pick it up again at the end of the week, and then do it one time again, and then come home and die, you know, because you can't handle it.
And then you stop liking going to the gym because you feel like working out you have to feel sore. So
you don't so now you don't want to go back, because who wants to go and be in pain all the time, right? I don't. I'm gonna stay home. And I didn't do that. I was like, okay, I need to start back up. And the first time I remember I tried to work out, and I went back to like my usual workout routine. Mind you, I hadn't worked out for like a year, one whole year. And then when I decided that I need to go back to working out, I went back to my routine, like the first one. Yeah. And it was crazy because the first exercise, or one of the exercises, were planks.
I used to hate
my pelvic floor was not having it. Like my pelvic was like, we're about to break. It's not gonna work. Stop. So I stopped, and I figured, I was like, okay, I'm doing the most. I'm taking it too hard. It's too harsh on my body. I need to go slowly. So I went back to just like literally on YouTube. There are videos of people just walking.
I never understood that until the day I started to like come to you for advice, like losing weight, because I was like, wow, she does that just by working out at home. And me personally, I like to go in the gym because I think it's just like one of those things where it's like a mental thing where I feel like I'm doing more when I'm at the gym compared to when I'm at home.
Right.
So like when you told me you have to start off slow, you know, doing at home workout, like I'm not about to do this jumping around the house. But I learned that over time, I'm going to keep saying this at this big age, that intense workout doesn't always do it for certain people's body. And I'm one of those body where I can't do intense workout what's it called? Intensity?
High intensity?
Yeah. Hit. I can't, my body is no longer, is no longer into that. So like when I started adding walking, just like walking for an hour around the neighborhood, I noticed a huge difference. And then when I would implement that with weight training, I was like, oh, this makes sense. Because when I would do hits, it was just like, I'm just sweating for no reason. Like, I don't know. It was just interesting.
So, yeah. So I started back up. And you can definitely like work up to that. But you can't start. Like literally, this is the first time you're going to work out after how many months? And you want to start with a HIIT workout. It's not going to work. You know what I mean? Like your body is just like, we're not used to this. Why? Tu brusques le corps. Okay? Don't do it. So I went back to walking again. And slowly but surely, I got into it. I got into the pace of just like, I'll put my video and I'll walk. And then after a week or two, I felt like that was just not challenging anymore. So I went up a notch. and I think I went back to Sugar or something online, Pop Sugar online, and they have like different workout styles, and I got into cardio. I'm sorry, I got into kickboxing again. I loved it, and that's where I started. And then I walked my way up to like I started doing shorter, like 10 minutes of hit. It's like just 10 minutes of hit workout.
Did that work for you? I always find those things to be like, do they really work? Because I like to sweat. Like, I'm like a...
No, the 10-minute hit workout, if you're doing it, you're going to sweat. But you don't sweat hard. You don't sweat easy. I sweat easy.
Yeah, I think for me, that's where like the challenging part of things like hits. I'm like, it's 10 minutes. I didn't sweat. I feel like I didn't do enough. But your body does a lot in 10 minutes.
Yes, your body does a lot in 10 minutes. And like, instead of doing nothing,
you did something.
Yeah. You know, it's like, and that was, I think that was Dawn that told me that. Like there were days where it was hard, just like going back to working out again. It was so hard. Like my body would just be like, girl, we need to sit down and do nothing. And then at the end of the day, I'll share with my husband. And that's the other part, right? As you're going through your weight loss journey, you don't want to be alone. You don't isolate yourself. Find a community, find people that you can share your struggles with that maybe are themselves going through that same struggle, and they can share their perspective with you. Now, though my husband wasn't necessarily going through that same thing, he would encourage me. He was very good at encouraging me. I'm like, listen, today I don't even want to do it. And I'm like you, like I like longer workout sessions, right? But I was like, I don't want to do it. And he was like, well, you don't have to do a long workout session. Just do this 10 minutes workout. And then one time he brought me a video of a 15-minute workout. I think it was so hard. It was so hard. It was hit, but with weight and all that. I was like, bro, this is hard. But like at the end of it, I felt accomplished because that day I didn't just sit around. I actually got my workout in, you know, and then I added like walking, made it a point to always walk 10,000 steps. And I'm telling you, like, and I don't know if this is just because, you know, my body went through so much with like pregnancy and all that, but it was so hard to lift my body. It was so hard. Like when I tell you, even cooking was hard. It was so hard when I started back up. Even just walking inside my kitchen felt like it was so painful. I really had to push through, and I'm glad that I had my husband around me to just, I would tell him like when it was really, really hard, I'll just share and
Did you cry?
No, I don't think I cried. Not with him, but I cried myself. Like in them.
She'd be like, I'm gonna go take a shower, and you just sit there.
Say, what am I even, it was so hard. Like, am I even going to lose this weight? Like, it was just a question. And my thing is, I didn't have money to be spending on, dietitians and all that because I don't like restricting myself. Once I start feeling like I'm restricting myself, it becomes too complicated. I'm not going to want to do it. I have to figure it out on my own, and I have to figure it out while I'm enjoying the journey too. So that's who I am. That's my type of person. That's why I don't have a trainer. I don't have a dietitian. I enjoy just doing my own research, finding things out and applying the things that work for me, the things that don't work for me and things like that. And I don't want to pay money for something that I think I can figure out. You know what I mean? So that was my thing. So I had my husband that I will always share with, you know, whenever I will feel like, dang, this is not working.
But the beauty of that is, because I remember we had a conversation about trainers. I think me getting a trainer was because I wanted someone to hold me accountable, right? Your husband is the one that holds you accountable.
No, so I don't think he was holding me accountable. He was a good, he was a good listener. He wasn't necessarily holding me accountable. When it comes to like to health, I don't need an accountability partner because I'm pretty good at keeping myself at task,
and that is self-care and self-respect. Go ahead.
Yeah, like I'm pretty good at that. Now that's one area of my life where I'm good at that, where I don't need anybody, you know, to kind of hold my hand. But that's also about self-awareness. You need to know what you need in order to, you know, get to where you want to go. And the other thing about just what we were talking before about like conversations and how, and how they go and how people will make fun of your weight and how, I don't know, maybe family will say things, and I think a conversation need to be had where we are all expressing our feelings or expressing our emotions, and then you can hear from other people where they're coming from. Because I think, which is normal as human beings, when someone acts towards you, or then you have a reaction. Your reaction, you have a reaction according to what you think that person meant in their action, right? But it's not always true. Like what we think is the reason behind someone's action is not always true. So it's important to have a conversation and be like, okay, why do you do this? Why do you do this? Like my sister and I, her niece, we make fun of each other all the time. It's like we're just gonna talk about something. We're gonna laugh about it. Like she will talk about something that I'm doing, that maybe like something that I have on me, on my body, that's not like perfect or whatever, and we just crack up. Because to me, it's just like, listen, this is life, man. Like you're not going to be flawless. I'm not going to be flawless. We can make fun of each other. We can make fun of our faults. It's okay. It's no big deal. You know what I mean? And it's life. Some things I'm going to figure out. Sometimes I'm not. Some things I'm not. Like I'm very good at being active. I do this. I do that. I do that. I keep my house really clean. I'm really good at that. But when it comes to cooking, the way I'm going to make everything dirty in the house. Like, I'm just going to make everything dirty, and then I'm going to take 3 years to clean up my mess, okay? To clean my dishes, all that. And then when it comes to, like, social media stuff that I want to do,
you ain't there. You ain't there. But it's good to have a partner where you guys have that, I want to say, common. No, that's not the word.
You have that thing in common, is it?
No, I was trying to find a different word, but I'll use that. You have something in common, and health is one of those things. Because yeah. So it's like when it comes to like weight, you both are serious about it, or being healthy, you both are serious about it. Because I know for a fact there are some couples out there where when the other person is starting to get back in shape, or they're going to the gym, the partner is not really a gym goer. Reason why sometimes when I'm in the gym, I'll see like, the guys in the gym, but the girl doesn't like working out. And then they find someone that likes working out, and then the relationship goes AWOL, And
I think that like it's just the conversation, our culture, the culture in general, whether it's Africa or it's the US. When we think about weight, nobody really thinks about health. When we think about weight,
you think about skinny.
It's skinny. It's like how you look for the sake of looking, right? How you look for the sake of just looking. But it's bigger than that. It's health.
How like we paint here in the Western world, we paint being skinny is like healthy. But when you start to actually study health, because that's where that's the part where I was struggling with, was understanding your macros, understanding being in a calorie deficit. I didn't know nothing about that.
Right. And being in a calorie deficit doesn't mean that you're hungry. It just means that you have to make better choices of what you're eating so that you're staying satisfied a longer time. Because like literally when you're hungry, you can get a piece of bread, right? And you put some peanut butter on it. It's going to be, I don't know, maybe like 150 calories. You eat that, you're going to be hungry fast. But instead of doing that, you take a whole mango, or maybe like what I like to do is I'll eat a banana, and I'll get maybe like a handful of cashews. I eat that, I'm going to be full longer than someone who had bread and peanut butter on it. I'm gonna wait for the next meal, but probably you're gonna have to snack because in the bread there's sugar that's making you want to eat more, that's making you hungrier, and like it's just about food choices, and that's what we need to educate ourselves on.
I like the fact that you brought up, because I remember talking to you one time about food, and you were like your husband will say, you can't eat that. You're like, I don't like to restrict myself. Right. I still like to eat what I like to eat. In my mind, I would be afraid to eat what I like to eat. But I've learned that it's all about eating with moderation. Like you can still have pizza and you still can lose weight, or you can still have pizza, or you have like the healthier, you'll still be able to maintain your weight. So for me, it was all about, dang, what does she mean? She can't, she doesn't like to restrict herself, because in the books it says, especially on social media, some people be like, you can't eat bread. It's bad for you.
Yeah, and it works for some people. My thing is just like, I'm not a model.
Yeah.
You know, like, I'm not a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
I just want to keep myself at a good weight, you know, and I want to be healthy. When I go to the doctor, I don't have high blood pressure. I don't have those things. So I eat everything in moderation.
Yeah.
You know, but I eat everything.
But I have an Instagram influencer that I love to this day, Makeup Shayla.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about, when I first started watching her, it was like back in like 2012. She was thick. And then she started to get into like weight loss. And she spoke about this in one of her videos, where she felt like, you know, she was uneducated about the journey of being healthy. So she would do fast diet, and then she'll work out, and then she'll find herself gaining the weight back.
Yep.
And then she got into keto. And keto is one of those, you know, you lower carbs or no carbs at all.
Just meat.
Yeah, just
like
meat.
Protein,
So she was like, oh, I finally found something that's for me. But and then after she got married, she got back to eating regular food. So she said that keto for her wasn't something that was doing it anymore, because her husband introduced her to like eating, right? So what she started doing was, it's all about having enough steps during the day, doing 10,000 steps a day, and just enjoying food, but eating it at a moderation.
Moderation, yeah.
She'll eat good. She'll eat the same food all week, but when she knows that she's about to go out to eat, she, you know, eat little by little, and then when she's at a restaurant, she enjoys herself.
What you were saying about like the macros, there's a whole science behind it. Yeah. There is a science of how much you need to get in calories. Right? If you're trying to lose weight, how much calories you need to eat. If you're trying to maintain weight, how many calories you need to eat if you want to gain weight. It's all out there. And like, there is information about what you could eat instead of something else.
Yeah.
And like healthy food is good.
I used to just hate it because I thought eating salads all day wasn't pleasing to me.
You don't have to eat salads all day.
That's what I learned.
You don't have to. Like, I didn't like salads either. I don't eat salads. I don't, like, literally I'll pack my husband's salad, and then I'll stay back and I'll have like quinoa and mixed veggies and like some chicken, and then I'll put like, you know, but there's also the thing of, I've always kind of like eaten unprocessed foods, because back home we cook our food. You know, it's not like here where you just go here and you buy McDonald's, you go here, you have Wendy's. Like, it's not the same world. Like, to eat, you have to cook. In the morning, you're gonna have bread, which is processed food, but there's eggs and avocados. Yeah. Most of the foods are like you're cooking it from scratch. So I was always used to that, and I guess if you're not used to, you know, that lifestyle is gonna be hard. But yeah, it's just knowing your macros, knowing what it is, and you don't even have to count it. You know your body. Like, listen to yourself when you're eating. If you feel satisfied, stop eating.
It's kind of hard. For a beginner, it's kind of hard, because I was like, man, when do you feel full? At some point, I would eat, and I'm like, I walk past the kitchen, I'll eat. I'm already full, but I don't know where to stop when you get satisfied. But that's interesting. I
mean, it's not our fault. Food be good. Food be good. Food be good. But like, through it all, like throughout the journey of losing weight, what's most important is to not stop loving yourself. Love yourself at every stage of it, because it is what it is, man. Like, especially like weight loss, you can't really plan it. You can't be like, yeah, by June I'm gonna lose 30 pounds. That's not how it happens. Sometimes, like, as you're going through losing weight, you lose like 5 pounds today, and then next week you gain 1.
You know, and the following week you lose like 2.
You lose again. You know what I mean? Just give yourself time, give yourself grace. Embrace being healthy, embrace healthy habits, do research about it. YouTube University is like the best place ever. There's so much information. There are so many informations. There's so much information. And if you hear something that you're like, yeah, I don't think so. Don't do it.
And it's also a blessing to have family members or just friends in general who, you know, who value and respect you enough to tell you the things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear.
Yeah.
Right? Because I think for me, it was like one of those things where I was like, they don't love me. But I came to realizing that those who love you will not want to see you crash.
Yeah.
You know, they know that you can do better. They know that you can, you know, be the best version of self. So you just have to take it in and keep it pushing. Don't take it in and be like, block everybody, because I was so close to blocking y'all. But yeah, take it in and keep it pushing.
No, surround yourself with people you know care about you, people that you care about, and then let them be your tribe for real. Let them be your village for real. You know? That was Agree to Disagree, everybody.
Yeah.
We hope you liked the conversation. Let us know what you think. What has been your journey with body image and weight loss, and how you're dealing with it, what you're doing.
Yeah, and we will see you on the next one.
Bye.
I like this one. This was great.